Step 1, wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo. Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. You always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Popcorn Betty. We cover true crime, and of course, we've been covering the case of, well, all the political violence going around this country, and that's kind of where we've been for the last couple weeks. And now we've got a child. It's kind of hard, an adult child. You know, he's 17 years old, but we have a Amber Alert on him because our state officials feel he is in immediate and imminent danger. The story is something kind of like out of the movies. Thank you. I'll go through all the fan funding. Thank you, guys. Is something like out of the movies. It sounds like he was ambushed or something. I mean, I'm trying to make heads or tails of what happened to Caden Speight, 17-year-old. He was in his truck. I looked at his truck. His truck looks like a, some type of, it looks like he has some type of job that needs a big, large truck. I don't know if he's a tow truck driver or if he's some type, what his deal is. He seems like, I haven't heard anything about him being a horrible kid, but, you start hearing about, 17-year-olds having gunfire toward their way, being stripped out of a car. You're thinking of a number of things and none of it's good. Was he into substances? Was he making substances, selling substances, purchasing substances? Is this something where he borrowed money from somebody for something? Is this a situation, these 17-year-old kids, boyfriend, girlfriend issues? Our schools don't teach children like they once used to, and we learned about this thing called rejection and, how painful love is and stuff like that. We didn't go and try to unalive people, back in our time. But this day and age is a new day. We've got horrible kids that like to go to violence before anything else. I don't get it, this day and age. Granted, we do have some beautiful, loving children. I don't want to paint with too broad of a brush, but let's be honest, our kids are a little more wild than we were, okay? They do a lot more lethal type of activities than we ever even thought of. I don't know if it has to do with video games or other things like that, but typically, we're seeing an uptick in adolescent or juvenile crime. So this is right here in DUNNELLON, which is not too far from me. Apparently this happened at the, I don't know, 1280, 12, I don't know, You guys see it, 12800 block, okay? Is that the, 12,800 block of Southwest Highway 484 in DUNNELLON? I don't know. They don't know what color t-shirt he's in. He was in blue jean shorts or pants, blue jeans. And it appears that the people that may have shot up his vehicle were 4 unknown men that allegedly grabbed him out of this vehicle and took him with them. Is this boy shot? Does he have any injuries? I really don't know. I don't know, but this is something like the Wild Wild West right in my own backyard. I mean, granted, it's not as close as, some of the crimes that we've covered on here, which always makes me a little antsy when it's too close to my house because, I think that in my world, we have the best of everything. My sheriff does this, that, and the other, right? So I always prop my sheriff up. But sometimes I have to question things, I remember one time we had a guy that didn't go to jail, threatened his mom. It's like a year and a half ago on this channel. And I was ready to go scorch earth on my sheriff. And I remember a county commissioner reached out to me and they knew that this would be debuting on my show because they all know me. So I ended up getting a call from a county commissioner and they told me, look, this is not the sheriff. This is the DA, the district attorney. This is, so-and-so. And I'm like, huh. So I ended up doing a story and basically scathing our Ed Brodsky. It was the Ed Brodsky one. I went scorch earth on him over that. But this feels like a little bit different. This feels like this is not a situation where it's the sheriff's fault or the DA's fault. We don't know who these men are and what just happened, but it sounds like this is no joke. Not to laugh at it or anything else, but you guys need to hear what's going on in this case. So let's go out without further ado. Let's get cracking on this, find out what's going on. So this is coming out of Fox 35. We got a couple of them. This is a Marion County teen, Caden Speight, believed to be a victim of a shooting, deputies say. So the shooting took place. It appears that, oh, you guys are not quite centered on here. Hold on a second. I thought I adjusted this, but apparently I did not do a good job. I think we got it now. Hopefully we got it now. All right. Nope, still don't have it. Hold on. Let me adjust it just a little bit more. I got it too big. There we go. That should be about right. No, it's still not right. There, I think that should work. There we go. Hopefully you guys can see it all. I'll be reading it to you one way or another. And we got a video here, so I'll let the video play. And we're going to have some type of advertisement.
Ever wondered about the science behind a knock? ABC Legal does more than knock on doors. We eliminate the guesswork from service or process, providing real-time updates backed by GPS and photo evidence on each.
Breaking news.
A 17-year-old is shot, then goes missing. An Amber Alert was just issued for this teen. His name is Caden Speight. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Luann Sorrell.
And I'm John Brown. Deputies have checked hospitals and are hoping that you can help find him. He was last seen on Southwest Highway 484 in DUNNELLON. And Fox 35's Chancellor Wynn joins us live there right now. So, Chancellor, all deputies have found so far is his car.
Yeah, John, that's what deputies are working with right now. They have a truck that they believe was involved in a shooting, and they say that truck belonged to Caden. I'm going to take a quick step out of the way because I want you to take a look at that truck. If we zoom in past this Marion County Sheriff's vehicles here, you can see a large group of people, even some evidence markers.
I mean, that's a big dually type of truck, you know, like a bit, you know, like he does some type of construction or farm work, something that requires that large truck. These are not cheap vehicles, and they're not cheap vehicles to maintain, and he's a 17-year-old boy. So it, you know, I feel like there's like the truck to me just doesn't scream 17-year-old boy. You know what I'm saying? It seems like a country boy that's working. So I keep wondering what is up. Like the truck just doesn't match what a 17-year-old would want. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel. So it's an interesting vehicle to say the least.
But it's the truck with the two doors open. That's where this investigation is focusing. Deputies say around 4 o'clock this afternoon, they received reports of a shooting. When they arrived, they say that truck appeared to be involved in a shooting, but the victim, Caden, was nowhere to be found, so they started searching for him. And I want you to come out a little bit and just see how large this scene remains. This has been here for about 6 hours. You have 2 different forensic unit vehicles, and what you can't see is in the sky. There's a helicopter that's been searching above using infrared cameras to try to...
Like, this is the problem I'm having with this is this seems like something a little bit more. This doesn't seem like a normal run-of-the-mill tiff with like other kids. Like they're saying he was physically shot. That means that they have probably some type of high velocity blood spatter somewhere that they've seen. They've got 2 forensic teams out there, so I have to think when they say this young boy is shot, that he has been shot with a firearm. And firearm wounds are, you know, you can be fine for a little bit as you're bleeding out. You know, you've got to get firearm wounds taken care of immediately or cauterized immediately. And, you know, this might be a situation where something happened. Maybe he saw something he shouldn't have, got shot, he was abducted, and maybe later expired, and they dumped him. You know, like, why wouldn't they just leave him there? You know, that's my question. Why did they take him with them? Why was there 4 guys that took him with them? So that tells me there's something more going on here. This stuff here feels drug related. I don't want to say that because the boy looks, you know, sweet and, you know, it doesn't look like he would be involved in that just on the, you know, appearance, but we all know appearance can be deceiving. But the actions that I'm hearing here seems like some type of drug situation. I mean, the kid's 17. I can't imagine it being over child support, but it could be over a woman. It could be a love triangle. Something just doesn't feel right with this whole case. It really just doesn't. I don't know what. I can't put my finger on it, but something ain't jiving with me with this case. It's very confusing to me. Oh, thank you, Don. Let me just take a few moments. I saw a few people donate some gifted memberships. So I did want to say, Stephanie, thank you, gorgeous. 30 full months with me. Good gracious. Thank you so much. God bless you. Hobo's Life gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership. If you received your Bullhorn Betty membership, don't forget to tell Hobo's Life thank you. And for the recipient of this coveted Bullhorn Betty membership, well, welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straitjacket in your padded room and welcome aboard. Melanie reminded us it's a TGIF and hopes everyone is doing well. Much love to you, Betty. Back at you, sweetie pie. Back at ya. Phil from across the pond. Gorgeous. It's nice to see you, reminding us to show some love. Oh, wrong one. Because I'm a love machine. Because I'm a love machine. Hobo's Life gifted another membership. So if you received your Bullhorn Betty membership, this coveted Bullhorn Betty membership, don't forget to tell Hobo's Life thank you. And for the recipient of this Bullhorn Betty membership, welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straitjacket in your padded room and welcome aboard. And look at Sweetie... Oh, I hit the button accidentally. Sorry. Sweetie Pie saying, thanks for all you do, Betty. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Pussy Willow Pendercat says, love our bestest girl. Back at you. Hugs and loves. Dawn, been with us 10 full months. She says, love you, Bullhorn and Delilah. Mods in chat, thank you. Joanne, I appreciate it. And Dawn, as well as Phil, gifted Bullhorn Betty membership. So if you received your Bullhorn Betty, your coveted Bullhorn Betty membership from Dawn or Phil, don't forget to tell them thank you. And welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straitjacket in your padded room and welcome aboard. Thank you all. It's always nice to see and hear from you. Big hugs and love. Okay, so now that we're back onto this, there's just something that isn't right with me on this story, and I can't put my finger on it. And I think it's because we don't know this young man. We don't know what kind of activities he's in. Dunnellon is more in line with a farming community as opposed to like city, like a city vibe. It has a more rural vibe out there in Dunnellon. So could he have rolled up on maybe an illegal operation he wasn't supposed to know about? All these things are possible out in Dunnellon. I mean, this is Florida, and we get some crazy stories out of the state. We get some pretty stinking crazy stories out of the state. I'm hopeful that he's okay. I'm hopeful that this is all a big misunderstanding. But 4 dudes, and how do they not know the dudes? How do they not know the dudes? It feels like, I saw all those doors open. Were those doors open when they arrived at the vehicle, or did the law enforcement open the doors, right? Because I saw 4 doors open. Maybe that's why. Maybe he had a whole bunch of people in his car and somebody decided to rob him. I don't know, because they would have had to take him somewhere. Where would they have put him? This is getting crazy. I'm not feeling good about this, folks. I'll tell you that right now. I do not feel good about Caden. I got to get a little more information, but what I'm hearing right now is not looking good for a young man to survive an event, especially him not being in a hospital.
to find hot spots in the woods because this is a large wooded area. Now, I want you to take a look at a picture of Caden because really the priority for deputies right now is trying to find him. So getting a better image of him, seeing maybe you've seen him somewhere or seen him at all since 4 o'clock because deputies believe he may be with 4 unknown men, possibly Hispanic, driving.
Possibly Hispanic. This sounds like a robbery. This sounds like a bad drug deal. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Something's not right here. Something's not right. And how they have this information, but not a whole lot more information than that. I don't know. I'm not feeling it. I'm really not. There's something not right here, and I don't know what it is. If anybody's out in the Dunnellon area, knows the family or anything, please reach out to bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. I'd like some information because, you know what, in all fairness, I'm happy to go out and start searching. And I think that this probably, you know, I'm monitoring this, but this is not too far from me. And we can get out in some areas and start searching because, you know, something's not right here. Is he near his vehicle? Is he not near his vehicle? We know there's been so many times, and it's not to knock law enforcement in the least bit. In most law enforcement can understand what I'm saying without being, you know, getting their, feelings hurt, getting all up in their feelings, which is never good for a law enforcement agent, might I add. But, there's been many times that we've gone out and searched after law enforcement has cleared an area, and I can think of several, okay? Several. One being Kathleen Moore, okay? We were out there. We had a feeling where she was. We couldn't get to where we had a feeling she was because of the swamp, and we had water moccasins, which if you don't know what a water moccasin is, look it up. I wasn't going through. I did not have snake boots. I did not have, wading gear at this time. This was back in the infancy of this channel, but we had a good idea where Kathleen was, and we just couldn't get back there. And we expressed it on social media as well as with multiple neighbors in the community. And we could only stay there for a certain amount of time because we were starting a new case, the Summer Wells case, and we had to take off to Tennessee. And so as we were going out of Tennessee, we did find out that day that we were leaving that Kathleen Moore was actually found, and we were shockingly surprised that she was found exactly where we thought she would be. And so that is just one thing. And I truly do believe that if this kid, I just don't understand why they would take him. The only time I could understand why anybody would take somebody somewhere is to extort them. What is the purpose of taking somebody somewhere? Is to obviously keep them alive, to get something out of them. Otherwise, if he did something so horrible, this group of people would have just executed him and left him be right where he's at. So there's a purpose with why they would take him with them. If they did, it might have been to just because they were seen with him earlier and they needed to act like this was something else and is staging the scene or something like that. We've had those type of situations, but if they took this boy with him and didn't drag him all the way out into the woods somewhere, then there's a reason why they took him. And we've got to figure out what that is. I feel like this is more in line with something. I mean, I don't think this is in line with, STHT type of thing. This seems to be more mafia cartel-like. No? I mean, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting off of this with law enforcement saying potentially, Hispanic males. We know that a lot of Hispanic and Hungarian males tend to get into some type of gang relations or cartel, mafia type of relations. So is this one of those type of situations? It feels like there's just the initial vibe of this. For me, feels like that. Not that it is. It's just that that's the initial vibe I'm kind of getting. It's okay. It's being said the family owned a blueberry farm, might be workers. And that would explain his truck. It might have explained his truck. You're right. Maybe they're holding him hostage for, man, I hope that's not the case. But something feels a little off with this. That would be it, hostage type of situation, ransom type of situation. Maybe they were illegal workers. The family caught wind, with all the illegal stuff going on, could it all be part of it? Wow. I hope not. But that would make sense. That would take it from the cartel type of issue, make it more of a personal issue. And that would disgruntled employees, that would explain an abduction as well. Absolutely. And take the whole illusion of the cartels and the drug aspect, substance aspect away. Because, he looks like a good kid. That's one of the first things I said. He looks like a good kid. In this photo. But another thing I have a problem with, where is more photos of this man? The family's got to, because me, I don't trust anything until I know something. They have no idea what this kid was wearing. They have no idea who the 4 individuals were. This could be a family hit too. We know families have problems themselves, and there's a lot of violence, especially in these backwoods. So, we can't put anything. I'm not saying that that's the case. Don't start going out there to the family farm with pitchforks accusing them. I'm not saying that. Please, by all means, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying we side-eye everybody in a situation like this, especially when things seem really out there, right? Like, this is so far-fetched at this point that you have 4 potentially Hispanic people rolling up on this boy, shooting him, dragging him out of his car, and taking off with him. I'm sorry, that sounds a little too wild, okay, for us folks here in Florida. Especially in those backwoods, Dunnellon is more of a country bunk type of, place. Not all of it, but mostly. And, now we got to kind of, we hear the Hispanic thing, but how do we know that that's not a way to throw things off? Could it be, somebody that was a little closer to that farm than people want to make? We don't know. We look at everything, though. But right now, what law enforcement is telling us is that this young man was basically carjacked, but not. They left the car. He was hijacked, right? He was kidnapped, okay? And didn't they say it could be a hoax? CG? I don't know. We haven't gotten that far. I wake up this morning, me, I'm doing my due diligence on the cases we're covering, which has been, this political violence going on around the country. And somebody had sent me an article about this 17-year-old boy that got an Amber Alert. And I'm like, yeah, 17-year-old boy with an Amber Alert? That's pretty crazy. We hear Amber Alerts a lot for kids, okay? But usually when you're 17 turning 18, we don't get a whole lot of Amber Alerts for you, okay? We just don't. And so when I heard about the 17-year-old and then I'm hearing shooting, I'm like, what in the world is going on? I start reading some of this stuff and I'm like, okay, this is wild. This is obviously something that somebody needs. So let's just keep going. I got a couple of articles here. So we'll all be up to date here shortly with relations to it. But I'm telling you, something ain't right here. But for them to say he was shot, there's a problem with that, guys, because law enforcement will not make that determination without evidence of a shooting. And if they say he was shot, then what are they telling us? They're telling us that they physically see high velocity spatter somewhere that identifies that he was in fact shot, and not say stabbed or cut or something to that effect. They said shot. And for me to understand shot and for law enforcement to use that, I have to, play the tape through. What would they have to see in order to make that statement? And the only thing I can think of that they would have to see inside that vehicle to make that statement is high velocity spatter. That's the only way, because just because you see blood does not identify that blood came from a gunshot. So in order for them to say that they would never have used shot, they would have used there was blood found at the scene if there was an unusual amount of red-like substance. They would use, we've seen slash type markings. They didn't use any of this verbiage. They used shot. They said this boy was shot, then abducted. Where did they see the high velocity? Mayflower says, news article says he texted his mother. What did he text his mother? Guys, send some of this stuff. If you guys can come across this, send this stuff over to bullhornbetty@gmail.com. Mods, please watch The Real Me Too and Sonya. Let me turn my volume. Okay, my volume is on. Hopefully I'll be able to hear it. If you guys do see somebody saying that they sent me something by email, please let me know. My email is bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. It's just like my name right down here, bullhornbetty and then just put the @gmail.com. I'd like to find out some more information. This is what we're doing here today.
A light-colored van. And again, this is a picture of Caden. He's 6 foot tall, around 150 pounds.
Let's go back
and I want you to
listen to
hear
that
why
again.
the Marion County Sheriff's Office says their priority. Now, I want you to take a look at a picture of Caden, because really the priority for deputies right now is trying to find him. So getting a better image of him, seeing maybe you've seen him somewhere or seen him at all since 4 o'clock, because deputies believe he may be with 4 unknown men, possibly Hispanic, driving a light-colored van. And again, this is a picture of Caden. He's 6 foot tall, around 150 pounds. And I want you to hear why the Marion County Sheriff's Office says their priority is finding him first.
So because our most important thing at this point is finding Caden, we need to get eyes on him and figure out what happened. It's very important for our investigation and for his safety potentially. So we're really hoping that anyone who was in the area who may have seen something suspicious to come forward, let us know, even if it's a small detail.
Now, this is where it gets a little bit more interesting for the Marion County.
Okay, before we get there, I just want to read some comments so everybody is well versed on what I'm seeing on my end. If you're not able to catch up on comments, so we're hearing a news article said he texted his mom. We haven't gotten there to that news article. If somebody has that, please send that to bullhornbetty@gmail.com. I'd appreciate it. At least they have the time of the crime. When the text was sent. Yes, that's very, very, very true. Very interested in this. Maybe we'll start building a timeline while this is still in its infancy so we can see where we're going, because this doesn't look good to me. I have a funny feeling this is going to turn out terribly bad. They said it was a text to his mother by him. They could have just found a casing. That's possible. So just bear with me here so I can make sure I understand this. Are you guys saying that he sent a text to his mother saying that he was shot? He texted a message to someone. So it's possible that this is a hoax or staging by this young man for sympathy or other relations. Is that what I'm understanding? Am I missing? I just want to make sure I'm understanding what's being said here, because I did hear somebody said this could be a hoax, which would explain why this doesn't feel right. Mayflower Homeschool says that he was shot and four males. And so I'm assuming that this might be what was text to his mother. And if somebody did shoot him and rip him out of the car and take him, how would he be able to text to his mother? It seems like 3 people would be watching him pretty stinking closely, so he would not be identifying or notifying anybody of what's going on. So I'm still a little not. Let me keep going here. Good morning, Holly. It's nice to see you. Sounds like a gang initiation. Might be. He was probably used as bait for some new gang member. That's a possibility, if true. There's something with this whole, 4 a.m. Nobody even knows what this kid is wearing, because even in my my thumbnail, it just says unknown t-shirt for him, and I'm like, unknown t-shirt? How do you have information that we have 3 to 4 Mexicans, but you don't know what the victim is wearing. You got details like a white van, but you don't know what shirt the victim is wearing. Like, there's just some things I know people don't pick up on like right away that I kind of say this doesn't make sense almost immediately because we do this a lot. But, this whole thing about the possibility of a gang affiliation or something where I have seen this and heard this many times of them just targeting somebody to get their affiliation or their bones. And, this could very well be. Trust me, truth is stranger than fiction. So I never put past anything, but I always try to look at all possibilities and start honing in on which one makes the most sense, right? And so we have possibility of gang, cartel. We're going to mix the gangs, the cartels, the dealers. We're going to kind of put them all together, okay? I don't want to have like 15 different theories that it's bad guys, okay? We're just going to put all the bad guys together as one theory. It's a bad guy, okay? That's going to be the difference. So we have bad guy, affiliated with some type of crime, whether it's drugs, whether it's manufacturing, distribution, whatever. We're going to put the bad guys all in one category, and that includes the gang and the possibility gang initiation type of crap. So we got the cartels, the gangs, the mafia. They're going to all be in one theory together. And then we've got the possibility of this being a complete hoax, like this kid being down on his luck. He's 17 years old. This is kind of where you start getting into, he's already hit puberty. He's already going through puberty, but this is kind of the age that you have your first love. You have a few broken hearts. You get cheated on. Your heart gets stomped all over. This is still in that area of life, so this might be where he's really, really depressed. But I'm interested in about this texting with his mom. So let me keep going here. Let me see if that could. It originally said he had. I don't think in Florida that makes a difference. I know people thought, well, he had a MAGA hat on. In Florida, it doesn't make a difference, okay? And in Florida, like, MAGA is supreme here, okay? Like, it's not like, Philadelphia, okay? I don't know how Philadelphia, I just threw that, but it's a big city in my opinion. It's much different than Florida. But at the end of the day, wearing Trump gear, MAGA gear here in the state of, it doesn't get you beat up. It doesn't get you shot. It's not like that here. Like we're a red state. Even our country folk of all colors, walks of life are red here in the state of Florida. So we just don't have those type of issues, with that kind of stuff here. And if it is, it's very, very small. It said white van in text. That's what I'm trying to find out. I'd like somebody just to say the text to the mother was this. His sister posted on Facebook that he texted his mom. Okay, so let's go over here. Let me take this off just real quick. You guys can see his face and get some information. Let me go over here and get to Facebook. Let's see what we can find. I mean, we're an interactive show for this very purpose right here. So we can stop and look into these details. But if it's just him, with these text messages, I'm sorry. Look, I've been around the block a time or two. And I always say this because I've been around a lot of bad people. I've been around some of the best people in the whole entire world. I have a very unique experience because of the lifestyle I chose to put myself in. I chose to live, and I had to fight like hell to reclaim my life. It's hard for me to believe that this child, the 17-year-old, just got abducted after being shot, and they still let him use his phone to text his mom. That does not make sense to me. You guys get that? Because if you got four, now, if he was only there with one person and one person was, responsible for driving the getaway car and, keeping an eye on him and keeping him silent, that's a different story. But you're telling me that there's 3 to 4 Mexican people that abducted this kid and he's still able to text his mom. That doesn't make sense to me. Because the first thing that, in my opinion, that they would have taken away from this guy is his phone. Okay? The last thing that they would be letting this kid do is text his mom. Or anybody else for that matter. That's the part that doesn't make sense to me, and why I'm trying to clarify that information as much as possible. Hold on, let me see what you guys got in here. I'm gonna have to start doing some reading on Facebook here. Some Hispanics don't prefer it. Listen, I live in Florida. Whatever you're trying to say with this whole MAGA hat bullshit it's not right, okay, lady or man, or it looks like you're a lady. I'm not trying to be rude. It's not an issue, okay? And if you're trying to make it an issue, I will escort you right out of my room, okay? It's not an issue in the state of Florida. I don't know where you're from, but obviously MAGA hats bother you, okay? This is a MAGA-friendly channel. So if it's something that you have a problem with, uneasiness with, when I tell you from my own home state that this is not a problem, it's not a problem. So for you to keep bringing it up, it's obviously a problem for you. So either shit or get off the pot, but I will boot you out of this chat if you keep bringing up MAGA. It has nothing to do with it. And I'm insulted and offended that you constantly keep bringing it up after I've specifically told you it's not an issue. I'm local, so I'm hearing a lot. There was a UPC driver that encountered 4 Hispanic males in that area earlier. They were aggressive with him. Okay. Interesting. So we're getting that. Okay, let's just keep going here. She was supposed to turn it up, but thanks she forgot. I don't hear it going off. Oh, am I supposed to be getting something? Hold on here. Oh, there it is. Here it is. Yeah, I didn't hear it. I don't know why I didn't hear it. Hey, do I have my ring volume down? My ring volume's up. You guys are on the list. So here's what it says. This is what I'm hearing. I just got this on my phone, so let me read what I got. So this is from Ebony Maria Baxter. I don't know who that is, but it says, Mom, I'm shot. 4 men, white van. That was the last message 17-year-old Caden Speight sent his mother. Moments later, his phone was found snapped in half. Guys, and now Caden is missing. This isn't just a runaway. This is a full-blown Amber Alert out of Dunnellon, and it's terrifying. Last seen September 25th. This could be something very serious, and this could be something very hoaxy. I'm sorry. I'm just not... This just doesn't sound... I mean, Dunnellon, the Hispanic population's larger in Dunnellon. I can tell you that. So, I mean, that aspect, but I just don't want to start saying that it's, Hispanic men when this could be a hoax, and I don't want to say it's a hoax when this poor boy is in a, possibly in danger, but this just doesn't, that's a lot to get out on your phone before it's yanked away from you and snapped to half. Mom, comma, I'm shot, ... 4 men, ... white van. Wow, this doesn't look good. This doesn't look good. So, last seen September 25th, 2025, around 4 p.m. They're saying this happened at 4 p.m. I thought everybody said this happened in the a.m. Is this in the morning? And why was he out at 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning? What is your email? It's bullhornbetty, bullhornbetty @gmail.com. This is how conspiracies get started. For us having a conversation. So we're not supposed to have a conversation because you're scared conspiracies get started? Well, this is not the channel for you. Please, go, bye-bye. You can go and we talk about cases here. And if you're concerned about conspiracy theories, then you're not concerned about getting down to the bottom of this. Because it's theories and speculations that get me into the right areas that we need to be searching. So please be considerate of that. If you don't like what we're talking about, you guys can leave. It's not for me to change my speech. It's for you to get a clue you don't like what I'm saying and to leave. Okay? I am Bullhorn Betty for a reason. I'm not your best friend, and I'm telling you, you really don't want to be nasty here in this channel. So be kind, because we're not the ones. If you don't know how to adult, we'll teach you how to adult. It's very, very simple. So what they say is last seen September 25th. The location is 12800 block, Southwest Highway 484. T-shirt and blue jeans. 4 unknown Hispanic males in a light-colored van. Text to mom, I need help. 4 Hispanics in white van, 1 driver, I'm shot. Police are searching rivers, ditches, woods, helicopters in the sky, dog ground, but no Caden. This story isn't getting enough attention, and the child's life is on the line. There's something not right with this story. That's why. At the end of the day, there's just something not right with this story, and I can't put my finger on it. That's why. And I think it's because it does have some type of feeling of this doesn't seem. Hey! Come here. Come here, Delilah. Hold on, guys. You're a sweet girl. Leave the burglar. Leave the burglar. Come here. Oh, yeah. And nobody coming in the house, I promise. Come on. I promise. Nobody coming in. Say hi to everybody. Say hi, guys. I won't quit being a bouncy bean. I don't like being here. I don't like being here, Mommy. I want to go back to my bed. I want to go back to my bed. Okay, you go back to your bed. Just don't rip my freaking ears out. Okay, so that's about all. Let me just go over to my email, make sure I didn't miss anything by email. Okay, here we go. I'm getting some information in here on email. So it looks like the very specific, I mean, he looks like a good kid. I don't want to say that this kid is making this stuff up, but just something doesn't feel right here. And it very well could be with the Hispanic males. Mom, I need help. 4 Hispanics in white van, 1 driver. I'm shot. That's a lot to get out in a text message. And it has punctuations and commas in it. Have you guys ever seen, well, most of you guys have not received a report from me. You know, some of you guys have not seen text messages from me. But yeah, with the dots, well, it doesn't have ... but it has mom, comma, I need help, period. 4 Hispanics, and the 4 is cap locks, the Hispanics is cap lock, in a white van, hyphen, 1 driver, period, I'm, with a comma, I'm shot. That's a lot of punctuations. Teenage text, very detailed. Like, that's a lot of punctuations. Like, I would love to spend that much time to make sure my dots, but do you guys even see some of my posts on here? I do talk to text. No punctuations. Well, there's no commas. I mean, people come in here and start teasing Bullhorn Betty. Well, you don't know how to spell. You don't know how to put a comma between the I and the M. It's like, baby, get the heck. If that's what you've got to complain about over here, get the heck out of my channel, right? You're misquoting him. How am I misquoting him, Emmett? Do I have this? Why in the hell do I have these stupid trolls in my chat? Let me tell you fuckers something. Get the hell out of my chat. We're going to remove you. I don't know where you come from. How am I misreading it? It's on channel 2. I read it verbatim. We're going to do something about that crap right now. You guys.
Sneaky gremlins love to fight, but we're here trolls into what they're not. Whack a troll, let 'em tumble, let 'em roll. Swing your spatula or a stick, whack 'em fast, whack 'em quick.
If you guys see those, just boot them out. For my mods, we have a zero tolerance policy here. Okay, so if you see somebody, I mean, we're reading this stuff verbatim. They're in here doing nothing but trying to cause problems. They can take their asses on. I don't need your viewership, okay? If you don't want this child being found, I'm pretty sure you're a Democrat. And if you got a problem with me saying that, get out of my chat. This is for adults. For fuck's sake. On a Friday. You evil bitches don't have nothing better to do than be evil? Sometimes I wish the bullets were flying different ways. I'm just saying. No, I don't. So this is what I've got here. It says, I'm a UPS guy that serviced the area today. Made a delivery to 11795 Southwest 484 around 1 p.m. today. There were 4 Hispanics doing a roofing job, and they did have a white van. They were eating lunch when Jay was there. They spoke to me aggressively in Spanish after I greeted them and mean mugged me, but I thought nothing of it until I saw this. Homeowner name was Nika. Hope this information is helpful. So it looks like there might be some relevance to his stuff, especially with the UPS driver. But again, you know... And this was from Shua Vu, S-H-U-A, Vu. And it would be my opinion that he should be, you know, turning this stuff into law enforcement versus posting it on here. So this is what I get from Neighborhood News. It says, authorities have issued an urgent Amber Alert for 17-year-old Caden Speight, who was shot and abducted Thursday afternoon, and they have identified a suspect, 34-year-old Luis Palomara, a man with a prior criminal history, including a 2016 home invasion, and arrested with multiple charges. Now, I don't know how true that is, but it looks like we do have ourselves a massive, and it does look like a very much of a Hispanic, this right here, it's a Hispanic looking person. I would have liked to, right there. So we are seeing some information coming in. But it really, what's going on here? Hold on a second. Wow, what does it say? I would like to contribute more. What does it say? Good morning. Can everybody still hear me and see me? Home invasion. Hope they're keeping an eye on the family. Yeah. Okay, just making sure, because it dropped something on my end, and so I wanted to make sure that, because I just don't trust. Let's see. There we go. Okay, perfect. Yeah, there's something going on my end here, and it just dropped some information, but perfect. That's what I needed. Turned on 10 minutes or longer. Thank you, whatever moderator did that. Thank you for changing that for me. That's super, super important. Okay, so let's keep going through Facebook and seeing what other information we've got. I'm a little concerned, but see, the problem is this neighborhood news. I don't know where that came from, and I don't know who the person is. So here, let me just put this back up, and we can see it together. So here is, we've got like Facebook kicking right now, and here's the photo that I was looking at. And it's this kid right here, and they're talking about a white van, and they're showing this white van down here, you know, this little white van, the one that has like a weird front on it. I don't know without the photo if we would notice that. Give me a second. This dog is driving me absolutely nutty today. I'm gonna have to go bring her in here. Give me just a second. Sorry about that. I muted it because Delilah was barking and driving me crazy. So I snatched up off the couch and put her in here on my lap where she's going to be nice and quiet at this point. So what I was getting at is I would like law enforcement to identify that there was blood. I'm sorry. I don't want to not trust anybody here, but we have to cover the basics, okay? We have to understand that there is something going on here. We want to make sure what we understand it to be is true and accurate, okay? So we need to find out if he was shot. Clearly, he would have been shot in or around his vehicle. There should be high velocity blood spatter, or at minimum, some type of visible blood being seen in or around the vehicle. So that is the first thing. I need to make sure that those items are there. Those check marks are there for that. Because if they are, we got ourselves a huge problem. And if those things are true and there was blood and he was shot, now we have truly an abduction, not a hoax. And if there's an abduction, why did they take him with them? Because if you're going to be hostile, why would you take, unless you are planning on getting a ransom, using them for ST, SA, you really don't need them unless you're doing like a, there's really no reason to take them. There's really no reason to take him. For him to be abducted by 4 Hispanic men, there would have to be a reason for the 4 Hispanic men to take him with him. Was he seen or observed on any ATM machine? Like somebody said, read Rainey's comment. Okay, hold on. I don't know how to find Rainey's comment up here. You guys gonna have to bear with me. Betty, so you know this isn't a hoax. Caden's mom has been fighting a rare cancer. He wouldn't put his mom through more trauma due to her health. I'm not saying it is. I have to eliminate that as a possibility. And you telling me that even from the area, there's no way that I would eliminate it just based on this. I'm a factual person. We come up with theories, and we have to eliminate those theories. We don't eliminate those theories because somebody doesn't feel like he would do this to his mother. We eliminate those theories by legitimately eliminating those theories. I don't believe that he would do this to his mother. I don't know, because I don't know the victim, I don't know the criminals, and I don't know why somebody would abduct them. So we have to go through the process. One of the theories will always be a hoax. Okay, just because one of the theories is a hoax doesn't necessarily mean that we are going to buy into it or believe it, but we are going to be looking at eliminating it as a possibility. Now, we've seen a lot of this before, Carly Russell being one of them. This is not the first time we've seen this, so we have to be cautious. Even though you may know these people and there's no possibility that this child would do it, I understand that. But we also had parents once before telling us that there was no possibility of their child doing a hoax, and we found out not only was it a hoax, but it was a horrible hoax. So I understand your point, and I do appreciate it. And I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but we have policies and procedures. And if we keep following the same policies and procedures from case to case, it keeps us completely out of trouble with everybody, because then they know it's nothing personal. You know, we're not doing this to hurt anybody's feelings. This is something that we discuss from every single case. Every single case has a hoax theory assessed to it. So don't ever take it personal, please. Not at least from me. Could you explain why there was so much evidence markers outside of the truck before they towed it? Sure, it could be a number of things. It could be footprints and everything else, but they're not releasing those footprints or that information to us. There's a whole reason why there's a lot of markers out there. There could be gun shells out there. Okay, I'm not saying the story is. I'm not definitively. Listen, people that have never been on Bullhorn Betty channel before in the past, let me clarify some things to you. We throw out theories. There's going to be multiple theories. You don't have to be assholes. If you're going to be an asshole on this channel, leave. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of theories, from it being a hoax to him shooting himself to him being abducted by 4 Hispanic males. You guys understand? This might be your first time to true crime, but please. I'm kind of feeling like you guys came in here with different names and are intentionally... Okay, everybody, I want Cindy out of this chat. She obviously doesn't quite get what the Bullhorn Betty channel does. So let's get her out of this chat. She's being disruptive because there was bullet holes in it. Okay, well, I'm glad. Nobody, from where we sat, I didn't see any bullet holes in it. Nobody identified those bullet holes in it. So if you're more than welcome to send me the photos if you want, but what you're not allowed to do is come in here and hijack my channel. Now, if you're such a great person, Cindy Young, you know what you can do? Go, start your own channel and show everybody the bullet holes so I can go over there. I can go over there and pull your footage so I can show everybody the bullet holes. But from where I sit, I have not seen the bullet holes. Trolls are going to be trolls. Yeah, they are. And I know where they're already coming from. Because things have been started to get resolved in a certain court matter. And one of those things is that they're going to start coming over here again. But that's okay. Because I will tell you that I have no problem suing people, especially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Hopefully they get the message the first time. But if this is going to continue, yeah, we're not playing this again. I can tell you that. Can somebody please delete, whoever has the ability to go and delete and block Cindy Young? Go block Cindy Young. Please do not make me ask again. I keep seeing her right. I want her blocked from the channel. I want her deleted from the channel. I don't want her being able to come back here and write into the chat anymore. Thank you. I blocked her, and she was unblocked. Who unblocked her? I want to know who unblocked her. Okay, well, just be careful. That's probably what happened. Somebody blocked her, and then when somebody went back to block her again, they unblocked her. Okay, just be careful with that. Yes, that was a troll, and I know exactly who troll that was. And they're making multiple. They make multiple. I don't really care. I don't really care. I know exactly where it's come from, because literally we have a deal one day, and then the next day that this all starts happening again, I will throw a monkey wrench in everything that we just dealt with if this continues. I will tell you that. And the person knows who I'm speaking to. I will do an emergency withdrawal today. You better think before you act. I'm just going to tell you like that. You better think before you act. I was kind one time. I won't be kind a second time. Just saying. So what we have here is authorities issued an urgent Amber Alert for 17-year-old Caden Speight, who was shot and abducted Thursday afternoon. You know what? As a matter of fact, as soon as I'm done with this, I may just go ahead and file something. After this display, and I know exactly where it came from, you might have just threw a monkey wrench in something. What a shame. Authorities have issued an urgent Amber Alert. 17-year-old Caden Speight, who was shot and abducted Thursday afternoon in Dunnellon. Police have identified a suspect as 34-year-old Luis Palmera, a man with a prior criminal history, including a 2016 home invasion. And this is from Internal Echo. I don't even know if this is I don't like this. This is a blog. And it does not say who wrote it. This is the only place where they're identifying a suspect. Let me look at this suspect and see if he has been identified anywhere else. I think this is a rogue story here. It's not even letting me highlight anything. What is going on here? Why will it not let me highlight? There's something not right with this case. It's not letting me highlight any. Look at this. It's not letting me highlight anything on this. But I go over here and I can highlight this. There's something wrong with this. I don't believe this article here at all. You guys need to be careful what you guys are reading. There's no. So let me see. Luis Palmer. Let me just look this up. Hold on. Search Google for Luis Palmer. Let's see if there's any other. There is not one thing in here that identifies him from a specific news source that says this guy is anywhere a suspect in this case. I think that's a hoax. I think, yeah, that whole article is fake. This whole article is fake. So you guys got to be careful what you're reading. And then we got Yahoo, some idiots coming in here that read this fake news and start perpetrating it. There's something not right with this story. I'm not saying this kid's a liar, and I'm not saying that what happened didn't happen. I'm just saying this is my statement to everybody out there. Something is not right with this case. That's why we're looking at all the possibilities from it being a hoax. That means from this boy lying to it being actually an abduction for ransom or something else. We're going to go through all of these things. I can't fix the stupid out here in the world, but what we can do is educate people on how to identify cases and how to investigate all avenues of those cases. So we have Caden Speight. From what everybody keeps saying this happened at 3 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But if that was the case, why are all the photos from late at night? It gets dark here at 8:30 at night. They should have had some photos of this car during the day. It doesn't make sense to me. Was this, can somebody tell me, was this in the morning, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, or was it in the afternoon? Does anybody know? I'm not getting the answers. Hold on. Can somebody tell me that? I feel like we've heard it, but I don't know if we have. All right, let's get back to this. I think we were still on the video on this one here. Yeah.
Ever wondered about the science behind a knock?
Let's play it again.
ABC Legal does more than knock on doors.
Breaking news.
This is what we know.
A 17-year-old is shot, then goes missing. An Amber Alert was just issued for this teen. His name is Caden Speight. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Luann Sorrell.
And I'm John Brown. Deputies have checked hospitals and are hoping that you can help find him.
I heard 4 p.m., said the afternoon. Okay. Because when we go there, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. Usually they're wrapped up with a cake.
He was last seen on Southwest Highway 484 in Dunellon, and Fox 35's Chancellor Wynn
So there's where he was seen, 484 in Dunellon.
joins us live there right now. So, Chancellor, all deputies have found so far is his car.
So it's saying all they found so far is his car. They're not saying blood. Let's just listen.
Yeah, John, that's what deputies are working with right now. They have a truck that they believe was involved in a shooting, and they say that truck belonged to Caden. I'm going to take a quick...
They believe it was involved in a shooting, and they believe it was, we know it's definitely connected to Caden. At this point, I think it's confirmed. But they do have several, markers out to the side of it. But that doesn't mean anything. I haven't seen any shell casings. Under video, it says afternoon. Okay, thank you, guys. Maybe, okay, so it says, just tore me up and already fighting for my life. And this just hit me wrong. And if wrong, I'm sorry. I'm not sure. Afternoon. You don't know what sources can be trusted anymore. Thank you, BHB, for looking at this stuff with a better magnifying. Well, exactly. That's why we do what we do. So 4 p.m., Jen said 4 p.m. and said he was wearing a MAGA hat. Who was wearing? Where are you guys? I'm going to tell you, like I told Jen, and I love you. I don't want to hear any more about this MAGA hat. We're in Florida, okay? It is much different here in Florida than any other place. We can walk anywhere with a MAGA hat. And I tell you what, there is not an idiot in this state that's going to attack somebody over a MAGA hat, because we have literally millions of MAGA people all over this. We are a Trump supporting state. There are a few people that don't really care or on the other side, but it doesn't really matter. They're not violent. So I don't, this is, that would be a little hard for me to believe. So I'm disregarding that because it's Dunellon. Everybody in Dunellon's wearing red hats, okay? It's just country. We need more information from police. That's it. But that other Cindy chick obviously knew all the information, don't you know? Trying to school us on, oh, you can't say that. You got the wrong freaking channel telling me what I can and cannot say. If you're so bright and smart, go make your own channel. Don't come over and hijack mine. But nobody would listen to her because she's clearly a loony bin. That obviously wants not to help her friend because she comes from a friend that she's just about to take a deal with. But hey, whatever. I really don't care. I'm about ready to file something. Fuck her. Excuse my language. Betty, can you pull up the Amber? I was just about to read you, Mackenzie, and you retracted your message. Might not matter politically, but it does give. But my question is, they don't even know what kind of freaking shirt he's wearing. And they know what kind of hat he had on? That doesn't even remotely make sense. A lot of this stuff doesn't remotely make sense. Like him getting abducted by 3 Mexicans and was able to punctuate on a message to his mother. I mean, I'm sorry. It just doesn't make sense to me. So... It was dark because Amber Alert didn't go out until almost 8 p.m. Okay, that would make sense. So I'm guessing that if you would like to donate to BHB's cuss bucket, I'm probably gonna need. Those trolls really freaking pissed me off because, I was expecting them to at least have some marbles upstairs. Like I just drug through 2 years of this. You would think that you would just learn your lesson and move on. But no. Like, are we going for 2.0? Don't mess with my damn channel. Talk your shit on your channel. Don't come over messing with my channel. It's a good way to get yourself brought into a lawsuit. Stay off my channel if you're just in here for monkey effing, you know. Don't be doing it. Don't be doing it. I need more cussing. No, I can't cuss. I got preachers and people that are, you know, religious all up in here, and they can't stand it. They can't stand the cussing. They hate it. I don't like cussing either. It's just sometimes there's no other word to express what you're feeling. So I use them all. Said may have been wearing a red. Okay. I don't know. That lady's trying to bet. It's just that they're so eager to try to blame it on another conservative for political violence. Like they're so eager. It's sickening. That person that was in here, I can guarantee you, was probably a left-wing nut that was in here trying to think, oh my God, and I knew there was a problem because they kept going to spring, it's MAGA, that's the reason. Well, let me tell you something. If it's MAGA or wearing a Trump, then I should have been abducted a long time ago, okay? And I can guarantee you I got a little more for those, for the Hispanic men than this guy does, okay? It doesn't work like that around here. I hate to burst your bubble. This is my state. I walk everywhere with a whole bunch of stuff on my shirts, and guess what? Most of the stuff's pretty offensive, okay? Some of the stuff's pretty offensive. You know what I was just wearing yesterday or the day before yesterday? Alligator Alcatraz. My shirt that says, make alligators great again. Chomp, chomp, baby. Okay, I wasn't abducted. I drove all the way from frickin' Louisiana to the state of Florida with that shirt on. Stopped at a whole bunch of places. Went into one pilot store. Walked in. There was a whole bunch of Hispanic men. Walked right into there. Guess what? They opened up the aisle for me. I was able to go right to the bathroom. There weren't many left when I walked out of the bathroom, but you know, I mean, whatever. I got in, I got out, no problems. I wasn't abducted. There was 20 freaking Hispanics in that store. Now, if I'm around 20 Hispanic people with an alligator Alcatraz shirt on, and I walked out all by myself to a car that had not even Delilah in it, I'm pretty sure this man can walk around Dunnellon with a MAGA hat on. Just saying. Just want to make sure we put it out there like that. Alligator. But it's a true statement. It's a flippin' true statement. Without a doubt. Cuss away, Betty. You deserve. Thank you. I figured you guys would like. I love my. Did you guys ever see that shirt? Hold on, I'll show you. Now I'm getting it out of the dirty laundry because I haven't washed it. But here you go. I mean, this is what if anything's gonna get you in trouble, I definitely think this one would. Look at that. It even had an ice hat on it. Okay? That's what I wore. Make alligators great again. Alligator Alcatraz. Okay? And I wore that all the way from Louisiana, you know, in states that don't really care about my type of politics. I wore that from Louisiana all the way home. All the way home. Like I said, I went into a pilot store. Lots of nice guys. Moved right on out of my way. And went to the bathroom. Came out. Went straight out to my car. Filled up with gas. Got on the road. Everybody was happy. And guess what? Bullhorn Betty wasn't abducted. I don't think the whole purpose of me being so sarcastic is I don't believe this young man was abducted because he was wearing his MAGA hat, okay? And I don't think people would be stupid enough to abduct him. This is hard for me to believe without some type of drug element or some type of other element. If he has a blueberry farm and these could have been farm workers, that I can understand. You know, them feeling jaded that they weren't paid, they were laid off. They want to get back to the owner. If this is the owner's kid, I can completely see that. But they're saying that this kid was shot and abducted, but they're not specifically or specifying where this child was shot. Is that the crime scene, or is there another crime scene? Because let's face it, if he was shot, maybe he got into his truck and took off, right? And why is his truck parked there? How in the world did he get his truck there? Why would he step out of his truck? Why would he stop his truck? Like, I've got questions, and I'm sorry everybody wants to come over here and beat up Bullhorn Betty because I have questions. I really don't care. I've got questions. He had a huge dually. If anybody was slamming on their truck in the state of Florida, if somebody blocks your vehicle, you can run them over. So why in the world is he outside of his vehicle? They towed his truck away. From where? I mean, these are all hypotheticals. I haven't seen any receipts that this car was towed. And if it was towed, why do they have so many, markers outside of that vehicle? There should only be a few markers, because if the truck was towed from the area, then that would not be the crime scene. Devlin's family was supposed to be investigated by the FBI around late June. Yeah. Someone on the scene and has footage, but I don't think you want to see it. I'd like to see, I want to see everything. I have questions too. The math ain't math. And no, it's not. Because, let's play this tape through. Are you getting out of a car if you see 4 angry Hispanic males? If they're coming up, why would you... Was he dropping off? Why was he there in the area? This is, I guess the history is where I'm having my problem. Nobody's explaining to me how he got there. Nobody's explaining to me why he would be there. Nobody's explaining to me why he would ever, get shot and not just drive off. Why would he text his mother instead of using his huge freaking truck? Like, that truck would run over my car. It's a flippin' dually. He could have ran over anything if somebody was attacking him. He has a huge freaking truck. Why isn't he flooring it and getting out of the way? And getting out of the threat I've got so many questions. And if he was shot, why didn't he floor his vehicle to the nearest hospital? Why were all the doors open? Why would he have anybody in the vehicle? Because it sounds like there was somebody possibly in the vehicle. And then they find his phone broken in half after he has the ability to text his mother with periods and commas and everything else like that. Like, I'm not saying that this didn't happen. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying what they're trying to tell us may have happened doesn't add up to me. And there has to be other elements here that's not being stated, whether it be former employees, or the parents had recently got a large reward or settlement of some sort, and they want ransom. They want that reward, and they decided to, it does sound very hoaxy, and I don't really care about Cindy or her little need to come in here and be an asshole, okay? I really don't. Because as she will see, I am very smart, and I play these tapes all the way through, and I just don't jump in because some dumb woman, some liberal white woman, wants to tell me about myself. I could care less about her. And you can always tell it because they're the ones that are the nastiest. That's how you always know the liberals in the room. If I've offended you, then you're probably a liberal, okay? And liberals don't make good crime fighters. I'm sorry, they just don't. They don't make good anything. So if you're a liberal and you don't like my commentary, quit being a liberal and enjoy my commentary. Just saying. His mother posted the text, and it was not with capital letters or proper grammar. Well, I've read 3 different articles, and they put quotations. When you have those little quotations around, that implies that how they're writing it is the exact quotation. That's the whole purpose of having the quotations around it. And I've read the quotations in several different articles. I think 3 articles on Facebook that had the quotations and had the same exact verbiage, including the commas and the period. So I would love to see it if that is true and what they're posting in the news in these several articles is inaccurate. I would like to see the actual text if you have it or know where it's at. bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. I'm certain, yeah, that's it. When they put it in parentheses, it's not only that, but 3 different articles had the same parentheses with the commas and the periods. It just, it doesn't, yeah. I think somebody needs to look at that and quit assuming. Because I just put it up here. I know some people are walking in and they're like, oh my gosh, that's gonna be mean to Bullhorn Betty. And they don't realize most of the people have already been here and have already seen the 3 articles that we just showed, the parentheses or the quotations. One article will get washed through and copied and paste to the 10 others. That's true. I can agree with that. I can agree with that. But still, I'd have to think that these articles are not going to misquote something. Like all of the articles misquote. It just doesn't make sense. Not everybody cuts and pastes. So, yeah, if you guys have something, send it to bullhornbetty@gmail.com. But at the end of the day, we have a 17-year-old boy missing. He's been missing since, it sounds like yesterday afternoon. There he is, Caden Speight. They believe he's shot. He looks like a good boy. You know, regardless of what we talk about on this channel, I'm personally in disbelief that this is happening. But this kid does not look like the one that would have. I say this lovingly, but then there's another aspect that just came to my attention, which might explain some things. But he looks like a good kid. And it doesn't appear to me that he would be doing a hoax. But one thing that we did find out in this whole entire scenario is that his mother does, it sounds like, now this is unconfirmed from the Bullhorn Betty channel, so this is going to be rumored unless we get different sources that confirm the information. His mother potentially may have cancer, that Cindy lady, which I do not believe one iota of, because if somebody that has to speak and act that way doesn't know this family and tries to act like they know something when they do not to make themselves feel special, which is really sad and disgusting. But they said that the mother has cancer. Now, if that is true, again, if that is true, because nothing in our world is true until we see it in the black and white, then that could be a reason why he would lose his shit. Okay? When you're a young man and you're on the verge of losing your parents or mom or dad, it does trigger something within you to act a little different. And maybe subconsciously his mother was getting a lot of attention and he was feeling he was falling by the wayside. We don't know. I don't want to assume anything horrible like that, but some people ask, there's no possibility? Well, that in and of itself could be the possibility. We've heard this before, where a young man or young girl was missing their mother and did something, because they didn't know how to act. They didn't want to scare anybody, but they just wanted to be seen. They wanted people to realize that they were also hurting when nobody was paying attention to their pain. I mean, there's a lot of reasons, and I'm not saying that that's the case. I'm saying it's only one theory, right? We have the theory of this being a mental health break. We have the theory of this being a hoax for attention. We have a theory that this truly did happen, and there are 4 Hispanic males out there. But again, the Hispanic male that's being identified by some news source, some independent, unknown news sources, is inaccurate. I checked it myself. They have not identified any Hispanic person by name as being responsible for this young man's disappearance and or him being shot. This young man has not arrived in any hospital. He's not in any jail. I haven't heard law enforcement speak about any type of blood at the area. That may change, once we hear. My whole theories may change, right? We may eliminate a theory once we get to a press conference and law enforcement identifies additional information for the public so we don't have it wrong. But what I'm saying that I can tell you from doing this for years and covering many cases is something is not right here. And I don't give a rat's ass whether you like my opinion or not. When I don't think something's right, I'm going to say something. Again, Bullhorn Betty, okay? I don't keep a whole lot to myself. Okay, just saying. And when I see something, I say something, okay? Which is what I tell my audience to do. And I'm telling you that I've done this a long enough time that I'm telling you something doesn't feel right here. I don't know what it is. Does it mean he's a bad guy or does it mean the bad guys are the bad guys? I don't know. I'm just telling you. Okay? In my professional opinion, I can't put my finger on it, but something stinks to high heaven in this case. Okay? It just does. Now, I feel bad for this kid. I want to make sure that he's happy, healthy, and safe. But something isn't adding up here, and I'm not going to force a round hole into a square peg. Or square peg into a round hole. You guys get what I'm trying to say. But there's something that doesn't make sense here. Why did he ever get out of his car? He has a huge freaking dually. That dually could have taken an entire building down. Why in the hell would he open the door and get shot and abducted? It doesn't make sense. So you can say whatever you want about me until these huge issues are clarified good enough for me to understand what happened. I'm going to put the inconsistencies out there. Pewed first. Okay, so how? He's driving down the road and somebody just shoots him and he just pulls over to the road and they just come out of the woods and just open the door and yank him out? I mean, are you guys hearing this? Colored t-shirt. I know, and that's another point. How does nobody know what he was wearing? Everybody has all these details about, Hispanic people, white van, being shot, but nobody even knows what this person was wearing? Nobody in the middle of broad daylight even saw this engagement happen? I don't know, guys. I'm just saying. I'm not disbelieving. I'm just, something ain't right here. That's all I'm saying. Let's see what we got here.
All right, breaking news.
Oh, this.
We are at the crime scene right now. Marion County, 17-year-old Caden Speight.
Jonathan, you might want to leave. I'll be there tomorrow.
Kidnapped and shot.
Might even come there today.
Right here, they are towing his vehicle. I'm going to spin the camera around. They are towing his vehicle here. I'm going to spin the camera around. Late night jump. Late night jump, folks. They are towing the vehicle right now. They're towing the vehicle.
Like, I'm looking at this. Hold on, guys. You guys need to... Let me put this up here. I still got a nice little... Some tidbit of information that... I think that was pretty stupid. But now that I know you're out and about again... I'll be seeing ya. Oh, yes, I will. I will be seeing ya. Just saying. Better have your ho, ho, ho be at ya. No, now that I know, I know. Now that I know, I know. Paybacks are a mofo. I'm just saying. Not playing. Just saying. Let's see what this let's see what this cracker is that am I being racist? Am I being racist? Let's see what this cracker has to say. Let's see what this cracker has to say.
I'm gonna come up here a little bit and just show you. Hopefully you guys are in the chat. If people are in the chat, welcome aboard. We have a situation going on right now. They are towing the vehicle.
So this doesn't make sense. This is even more confusing. So we have houses around there? They have houses around there? And this is over by a Why would he stop? And how would there not be anybody seeing him? Let's look at something here. All right, let me pull this down. I don't want to see that douchebag's face. If you guys don't know who that is, he's a whore. I'm sure you guys can figure it out. Let's see here. We need Google Maps. Let me find out where this is. This is on the southwest. Remember, it's 12800 Southwest Highway 484. There we go. Let's go that way. Control C. 12800 B. Let's go look at this. All right, so. All right, let me share this. So this is where we're at. So it looks like it's right out here. So we do have some rural stuff, but there's still houses out here. You're not going to be able to shoot a gun off in the middle of a frickin' afternoon without somebody seeing something. So I don't know. I know that there's an intersection because it looks like they're at an intersection, but it's got to be like right around here is the intersection, and maybe his truck was kind of over here. I'm not sure. This is strange. Yeah. Where is he traveling? Exactly, Sandwich. See, these are my people. I can always tell. I heard gunshots all day. It's rural. That's bullshit. I don't know who you are, but I don't think you're being legitimate here. I know this is my home state. For trolls that like to come in here, this is my home state. All right? You guys not see? This is my ex that's out there. This is our home state. So, you know, in this time of year, they're not going to be shooting off guns all day. If you think that really happens out in the rural area all day, every day, you're crazy. So, you know, let's be honest here. Why are you in here trolling and spreading around misinformation? No. Well, since it's all public and shit, trust me, I hate the idea of having to claim him now, especially as much of a dirtbag he is. No, I swear. It was shocking to me. I'm from Illinois, so I can hear it. You're from Illinois, so you could hear it from Florida? You realize this is in Florida, not Illinois. There's no possibility. Yeah, they shoot guns a lot, but this particular day, I doubt they're all out there having a wild, wild west moment. Cut it out. Okay? Cut it out. It's 1L. I don't believe it. Maybe you're right. I don't know. Well, you know what? I guess you'll see me out there on the scene, right? I should have a Jason C that comes up and introduces himself to me when I'm out there on the scene. Am I accurate about that? Because I will be out at the scene. No, but it's not that shocking to hear. Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought. Get rid of Jason C. Another troll. You're very easy to find. And I find this awfully funny. When you guys go back, you guys can go back and explain some things.
Sneaky gremlins love to fight, but we're here to set it right. Jump and duck, let's take a shot. Turning trolls into what they're not. Whack a troll, whack a troll. Let 'em tumble, let 'em roll. Swing your spatula or a stick. Whack 'em fast, whack 'em quick.
I don't believe him. No, there's no crime. There's no crime scene now. No press conference for some reason, because something's not right here. I don't know. I need to make sure that if there's blood at the scene, then I'm going to trust that the information's accurate. But this whole story doesn't make sense. Why would he stop? Why would he? He's in a big truck. How could he have gotten shot? There's just a lot of questions here that I have that don't make sense, and it seems like people don't want it to make sense because they're coming in here trying to distract from the questions that need to be asked, and it makes you wonder why. But either way, it doesn't really matter. I think after having a test run with this, though, if that order is not signed, I think I'm going to have to make some decisions here because I'm done with this. We'll keep going through this process. Let me just see something. I think it might just be time. Hasn't even been entered yet, so it doesn't even go into effect. Perfect. Might as well go ahead and pull that. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And when she's screaming bloody murder, you guys can explain why. Because you guys thought you were slick. You guys thought you were slick. We ain't playing 2.0. Nope. 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 Don't see any posts from Marion County SO or local PDX page. Why wouldn't they push this out everywhere? There's always going to be some issues with that. DUNNELLON is more rural than, but I don't know. I don't know. Something is not right here. Something is not right here. I'm not feeling like I'm feeling. I need to find out how much blood's at that scene or in that vehicle. If there's very little to no blood at that scene or at that vehicle, then it's going to change my statement on this case quite a bit. But right now, it just doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. I'm not going to sit here and enforce this. To me, it doesn't make sense. I've got a lot of questions. I'm not going to sit here and say that these questions or say what people that I've never heard that come into my chat want me to say. At the end of the day, we analyze these cases with Lahukuchi Trail. Are you from that area, Redford? Because some people, it sounds like nobody can really speak a lot of the language around here from these trails, and you apparently can. So if you're from the area, I want to go out there and get into the woods because I don't know what we're dealing with here. Are we dealing with an abduction? Or are we dealing with somebody that might be having a break in their life? I like to see you go down there and get some information. Yeah. I think that's needed because I would like to find out what's going on here. Something just not sitting right with me, and I want to go to that community and find out, what they truly did here. I'm not going to take some person I've never met that's been barely signed up to the Bullhorn Betty channel for 2 seconds trying to tell me about guns and stuff like that in the state of Florida where I live, where I reside. People are idiots. You are pretty darn accurate when you have... Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Something isn't right here. I can tell you right off the bat. When I first started going into this case, which was just this morning, I just found out about this literally this morning when I woke up, that there was a 17-year-old boy. I'm looking into it, and it's like the more I looked into it, I keep asking my questions. And then it wasn't until I just saw the video as a freaking truck. His truck's a flipping dually. It's like it's a Mack truck of trucks. Like, I would feel 100% safe in a truck like that, right? If I had any problems whatsoever, what would I do? I'd drive. Definitely not step out. And I got to think that this boy, being from Dunnellon, has some scruples in his brain cells, to tell him not to get out of his vehicle when there's a threat. And I could see it if even if there were these Hispanic men, they would be wanting something. They want your money. They want your vehicle. They don't want you. Okay? They want to rob you. Unless it's something personal. And then if it's something personal, well, guess what? It should be some Hispanic people you know. So there's just something that's not right here. We've got a lot of different theories, but I'm not running with the theory that it's the Mexicans. Okay? I'm sorry. If you guys don't know anything about me, my name's Bullhorn Betty. I know I have white skin, but I have a half of my family that's Hispanic. And you know what? At the end of the day, we just watched, in one case, Emmanuel Haro, his mom is a Hispanic mother, wants to blame a Hispanic male for beating her up and taking her child. And I was very offended by that. And it's like now we're back here, it's in Dunnellon, and all of a sudden it's the Hispanics. You know, back in the day, like Susan Smith, it was always the black guy. Okay, so I just want to make sure that if we're going to say that it's these people, that it's right? And so I just want to make sure that the Hispanics aren't the new, Plan B fall guy. That used to be the black folk. That's what I'm saying. I'm not just going hook, line, and sinker because we're in Dunnellon and we have a lot of Hispanic population out there. It doesn't mean that this, I need more information before I start going down this road of it being a whole bunch of Hispanic men jumping on a white guy. Okay? I'm not going there right now. I'm just not going, it just doesn't make sense to me. Okay? They should check any ponds too. And there may be, I know we have cartel and the mafia in Florida now. I know that for a fact because my own county commissioners have told me. So if it's here, if it's in Manatee County, it is definitely in Dunnellon. Thank you, Betty, for not getting sucked into the anti-Hispanic rhetoric in this country. Well, no, I don't. Now, I do believe that people that are here, don't give me too much credit yet. Because with that caveat, I still do believe the people that are here illegally got to go home. Okay? My family's here lawfully and legally. And it is such a slap in the face to everything that my family, the half of my family had to do to get here, just for people to cross the line and not pay their fair share or not have to go through the rigorous background checks that they had to go through. So don't give me too much credit yet, but I refuse to take it as this being what it is because, we have a lot of Hispanics that live in Florida. So I just wanted to make sure. So I appreciate the compliment, but I want to make sure you don't compliment me too much. I was offended by that too. Yeah, it's just, we have to think about this and we have to play the tape through. Like, I'm still unclear why this 17-year-old person was in this area. Is this where they live? Is this near where they live? And if so, that might explain some things. Again, if they have a farm, if they have a blueberry farm, it could be disgruntled employees. I'm not saying the event didn't happen. I'm just saying things aren't making sense here. I don't believe it's 4 unknown Hispanic men that were working on somebody's roof down the road, okay? If that was the case, then maybe they would want to rob somebody, but why in the world are they taking a person? I mean, they would have beat him up and taken his truck and stripped his truck down, got the money from his truck. They would have robbed him. You know, they would have taken what I don't see. It's very, very risky to take a human being, okay? Beating somebody up and robbing them, you know, that's one thing. But to take them, that's just a whole different level. You're talking about them really wanting something out of that boy. So it's either going to be sexual or monetary, okay? I mean, I really, unless I'm missing something, I don't see any other purpose. It's either going to be sexual or monetary. No? Ooh, good point. Why text mom and not call 911? Boom. Boom. Ooh. Gina says, I sent you a video of Henderson Division Fire Chief assaulting teenage girl during a school prank. He resigned right after. Well, you know, we got Lisa Byington resigned right after she had me thrown in jail after lying under oath and lying to a judge, a detective. A 35-year veteran of Sumner County Sheriff actually lies on an affidavit. That is disgusting. She should be ashamed, and she should have never even gotten. She should have been disciplined. But the corrupt county allowed her to retire and gave her a fat retirement package. And I keep wondering how many, because she dealt with all the high-profile cases with, you know, the drugs and all that. How many times did lying Byington lie on an affidavit for them? Because she was way too comfortable in the practice to do it when she did it to me. She knew exactly what to say and how to put it on there to have the most negative impact. She sure did while lying under oath, and she never even thought I'd call her out for it. She thought that they were going to intimidate me and I wouldn't come here to my show and speak, but what they did get, they got a big F you, and you ain't shutting my mouth, and I sat there and drugged their ass for months over what they did, and still drag their ass to this day over what they did, because Sumner County is absolutely corrupted, along with Hawkins County. Those are in Tennessee, where I'm going to be setting up small groups to take the oppressors out of their government and start giving those states back to the will of the people. It's going to be Tennessee and Kentucky as my targets for the next 4 to 8 years. They're going to be my targets. Not another Russell. I hope not. I hope not either. But it's not like we can't. I just want to know whether this truly is an abduction. We have enough here that question, at least from where I'm standing, there's enough here to question, why was he there? Why did nobody call law enforcement when this was all happening and shots? Like there looks like there's places there. I'm seeing stuff right here. Right here. Like right here. This is a big road. I'm pretty sure people are passing by. How did anybody not see this ordeal or major event happen out there? Where a kid was shot, a 17-year-old boy was shot. How did they get him out of this big old massive dually truck that looks like it's a freaking a truck of steel? Like it could literally run somebody over and not be a threat to them anymore. How in the world were they able to encroach and get inside that vehicle to remove that boy out of it? I've got questions. How is the boy able to type, just like Sandwich says, type mommy about description and vehicle, which God bless, you know, I mean, out of everything else, we need a description of the vehicle. Yeah, Amber Alert, but not description of vehicle. Well, they did say white van, so they do have a description of the vehicle. But how, and you know what, in a situation like that, we want people to deal with, but why, if he had the ability to send his mom those texts, why didn't he, after he got done sending that text, dial 911 and just toss his phone into the woods so at least law enforcement would be on the phone and could hear what was going on? You know, but that he was able to text his mom before they broke the phone in half. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff here. I don't want to call I don't want to call this situation a hoax by any stretch of the imagination, because I want this boy, as when I first started coming into the show, what did I tell you? I really fear that this is not going to end good, that this child's going to end up being dead by the time we find him. And now, as we're going through this story and I'm starting to do some research in real time, I'm starting to have a different opinion. I'm starting to have an opinion, yeah, this could be true, but there's also enough to support that something doesn't feel right or sound right here. And we need to break through that worry box, before I get much further with this. I'm just not, there's something here. I don't know what it is. I don't want to lead anybody astray. We're definitely putting this young man's face up. We want people to help find and locate him. I'm very concerned about his well-being. I'm sure his family is very concerned about his well-being. But at the end of the day, something is not resonating with me, folks. I'm not going to force feed this down my throat because something doesn't seem right here. Okay, it just doesn't. And I'm really feeling uncomfortable that all of a sudden we've got 4 Hispanics, bum rushing out of the woods and attacking a white boy. I don't like that. I really don't like that. I know, I understand we got cartel and mafia members here and stuff like that, but they're usually going after their own type of people. They're not handpicking, young white men in big old pickup trucks that could run them over as victims. They're usually going after frail, weak, easy targets. A young 17-year-old boy in a huge, big truck that could literally run somebody over with a gun. It just doesn't make sense to me. Okay? Now, it just doesn't make sense to me. And not only that, when those people came out, why didn't they rob him? Why didn't they take his truck? Who the hell would want a 17-year-old boy? Unless this is personal, he owes money, or he's the dealer. If this really did happen, who is Caden Speight? What is his history? Is he a cook? Is he a distributor? Is he the manufacturer? I mean, that's what we're dealing with here if we're looking at something like this. And this kid looks like a good boy. I think there's more here. Good rug deal gone bad. It could be. But it would definitely be by somebody he knows. And even if it was a deal that went bad, why didn't they leave him behind? They weren't taking him to a hospital. Why wouldn't they steal his truck and strip it down? And, I got questions here. Like, DUNNELLON is a country area. Like, they should be able to take this truck and get it and take it to a big barn somewhere and get it stripped down. They could have made a killing off his truck. I just don't see why they would take him and not his truck. Like, I could see them, dumping his body out in the woods, which, that may very well be where this is going to be going, if this is true. But there's just something not right. I'm not saying that he's not in pure danger. I do believe no matter how you look at the situation, this young man is in danger. Even if you don't believe the whole Mexican abduction theory, no matter how you look at this case, this young man is in danger and he needs to be found. I pray to God he's found alive. I pray to God there's not a bunch of, rabid, crazed, lunatic Hispanic men running around here, snatching up white men. I mean, I'd hate for that to be the reality that we're looking at, but, that's the reality that they're putting out there into mainstream media. So I just want to reel that back, just a little bit. Just a little bit. I'd like to reel that back just a little bit because we don't know what's going on here. These are the initial assessments. I still don't understand why he's texting mom instead of calling for help for himself. There's just a lot of questions here. So we have to resolve those questions no matter how much it upsets somebody, how much it upsets that I'm not parroting law enforcement. I'm so sorry. I do not parrot law enforcement. We do our own thinking here. We analyze our cases ourselves because I don't trust mainstream media in many cases. And I know law enforcement is willing to lie to us. So we have to do our own fact-finding here. We have to do our own research here. And we have to speculate, we have to theorize, and we have to get down to what makes the most sense. And that's what we do here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. At the beginning of this show, we had some people here, some trolls that were coming from a very specific group of people. It's what we refer to as the hate channels. They are going to continue to try to disrupt and cause problems on this channel. I can tell you I'm not dealing with it. I'm not going to deal with it. I will sue every single one of them if I have to get it to stop. So this is my final warning. If you want to talk shit, do it on your own channel. Do not come over here and interfere with my show, my channel, or my people. If I have not shown the entire world, not only am I willing to protect my channel, I am absolutely willing to protect myself. So you want to talk shit, do it on your own channel. Otherwise, we'll go for round 2. It's just that simple. Leave me and my channel alone. Okay, guys, with that being said, I'm going to leave you with this. He was last seen at 12800 block of Southwest Highway 484 in Dunnellon. They have no earthly idea what t-shirt he's wearing, but believe he's still in a t-shirt. They believe he's in blue jeans, most likely because he wears blue jeans, and they believe he's in the company of 4 unknown men. And this is where I have problems, because the way this story is playing out is those men should be known to Caden. If this scenario did break out the way it broke out, okay? If this scenario broke out the way it broke out, where he was ambushed by 4 unknown men, these men would be known to Caden. If they would be known to Caden or be known to his family. Because if they were unknown people, they would have killed him right there and then. They would have robbed him of whatever he had, and they would have taken off. It would have been just that simple. They would never even have bothered taking him with them. This is where my problem lies, because I know people, okay? And I know monsters. And I know for a fact that if this child was ambushed by 4 Hispanic people, he would be laying next to his truck, deceased and completely robbed. They have no purpose to take him with them. This is where my curiosity comes in. So I'm not going to just take what we're hearing out there. We're going to use our critical thinking. We're going to be like, hey, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. We need this to make sense. And right now, it's not making sense. So until it makes sense, we've got to run with all the theories. Yeah, there's a possibility that 4 Hispanic people ambushed him, shot him, and kidnapped him. And there's also another theory that could be just the opposite of that. It sounds like, from what some other people have said, maybe he's got some personal issues going on in his life, with his family, with his mom. We know the possibility of losing family members, how it does affect the young mind of teenagers and adolescents. It's hard. The family may have been leaning on him a lot more now. His mom's sick, if that's a true fact in his world, that, he may just needed a break and was feeling so pressured and overwhelmed that he felt the only way he could get a break was to be abducted and to leave and just breathe. He might be having a mental health issue where he could, it could be self-harm type of scenario that nobody wants to tell us about. And he would rather the family know that, he was abducted and injured by a third party than by his own hand. We don't know what we're looking at here. But this kid looks like he looks like a bright, sweet kid. And so I don't know other than he looks like a bright, sweet kid to tell you. His truck was found where it was found. I haven't heard anything about blood. I haven't heard anything about bullet wounds being in the vehicle. We heard some people spreading rumors in my chat about them, but nothing that provided, that gave us, that they gave us receipts or photos showing the bullets in the side of the vehicle. Maybe mom was his last line of defense, and with her being sick, she hasn't been able to defend him like she had done. You know what? Yeah, that does make sense. You're right, Diesel. It could be a number of things. I'm just saying that what we're being told just doesn't make, like, when I play the tape through for it to make sense, it doesn't make sense, folks. I don't know what to tell you. No matter how I play it doesn't make sense to how we know human behavior reacts, especially human behavior of people that don't know each other. They're not dragging him to the hospital. They're not unless they wanted to SA him, they're not taking him with them. Okay? Unless we have 4 Hispanic men that thought he looked cute and wanted to R him, I don't see them taking him with them. That is insane speculation. There's nothing that leads us to speculate he was abused at home and the mom was his protection. I don't think that that's what they meant, it was abused at home. I think what she meant, but maybe being bullied at school or by other people. I never got it that they meant the mom was abusive to them. I think maybe referring to, I assumed school, Wendy, to be honest with you. That's what I assumed, school. Spectrum 9 reported live from the scene last night and confirmed there was bullet hole. Then great. Then you guys should be able to send me that video footage. But I don't know who you are. This is the first time I've seen your name in my chat. And the reason why I know that is because I show up every day to this channel. Okay? And so does my audience. So I appreciate that. I'm not trying to be rude. But I need to see it. Okay, I don't take anybody's word for anything. That's what makes this channel so special. We don't take law enforcement's word for it. We don't take it unless we see it, touch it, and feel it. So if you've got that evidence that can prove that there's a bullet wound, a bullet hole in his car, and there's blood at the scene that indicates that he was shot, I would love to see that. And so far I have, okay, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. Thank you. That would be amazing. My sister follows you for years and always good. Then you should know how strict and I just need to see it. No mention of blood. Okay, perfect. Bullhornbetty@gmail.com. Bullhornbetty@gmail.com. But I've got to see these bullet wounds, or these bullet holes, because it tells me a lot of things. It tells me usually the caliber of the gun. Depending, you might be able to determine whether it was a long gun or a handgun. And then now we're going to have the other questions. Now listen to this. Thank you, Joanna. I appreciate that. Bless you. And then you're going to find out from the other hand, who had access to this gun. And was there other people? Because you know what? In that area, there are houses there. I would have to assume that this person is either, these Hispanic males, if true, are from this community. Even with the white van, I'm not trusting, I only seen a post from a UPS driver. I haven't been able to look into who he is and if he's a troll. We have to be very careful on social media these days with people. Like we just pulled up an article that looked like a legitimate article that's saying that one of the Hispanic people were identified. Then we go and check to see if that was true, and it was not true. You got to be careful what you find out, what you read on social media, and you got to make sure it's from a legitimate source. The evidence marker in the new footage, something was worth marking. Oh yeah, it could be footprints. It could be, they have to mark everything. That's standard. Anything, even if it's a torn piece of paper, they have to mark it. So, we're very fluent with policies and procedures related to the evidence and data collection from law enforcement. We cover it quite extensively on this channel. I'm not worried about the amount of markers on there. That just shows that there appears to be some type of struggle when you start seeing that, unless there are actual casings and stuff like that. Like I've seen, drive-bys, and drive-bys had a lot, but a lot more than the markers that I saw out there. So There's got to be more. It wasn't. It couldn't have possibly been a gun. Like them going. There would have been a lot more markers out there than what you see. What I see with those markers and how close that those markers are, it seems to me that they have several different either shoe patterns or some type of scuffle or something that's there. What I didn't see is evidence of a secondary vehicle there. I'm not seeing where they have the markers next to another track of tire impressions. Like I'm looking for the tire impressions too. Evidence markers would be proof that it's not. That's not necessarily true, Fedora. You need to go back and watch Carly Russell. There was a lot of evidence markers out at her scene, which was right off the highway. It appeared her hair was pulled out. It appeared there was drag marks there. They had stuff. They had all this stuff. They had like 100 different units searching for her. A hoax looks like a regular scene too. I'm just saying. They had like she went all out. She took her didn't she take her wig and throw it? Did Carly Russell take her? Wasn't there something with a wig with Carly Russell too? Does raise your hand if you remember something with a wig? She pulled her own hair. Yeah, there's something with it. I don't think she pulled her own hair out, Fedora. I think it was there was something with a wig. I don't know. She took her wig off, or she threw her wig, or she packed a secondary wig and tossed it to make it look like she had a struggle there, like somebody, came up. Yeah, I believe so. But yeah, I think there was some. I remember there was something with a wig. There was something with a wig. I mean, when they're doing a hoax, they want it to look like what they're wanting it to be. That's why we're very cautious. Like, I'm not. I don't care whether what color the person is. And this is a white person, and I'm just saying we've had situations where there have been, hoaxes, and I'm not saying that that's what this is, but there's no evidence supporting that that's not what it's not. We have to look at all the supporting evidence. So hold on, let me check and see if I've got my email. I know somebody was trying to email me something. Let me see if we can find something in the email. I know we're looking for Spectrum. Thank you, love. Okay, let me see if I can download it. I would like to play it on. Hold on. Let me see if I. All right, here, I got something. Somebody was able to send it to me. So give me just. Shoot. There. Give me just a second. If I can get this up here, I'm going to try to get this up here. So just bear with me. It won't let me do it. Okay. Let me see if I can do browser. Yeah, let's do 1, 2. Let's make you a number 2. Make visible. No, I don't want a browser. Hold on, let me delete that. I didn't need a browser. I needed something else. I'm trying to get the video on here, and yeah, it's just going to make me do the video. Source, VHS, source. Okay, let me just try it this way. Maybe it'll let me. Add file. Alright, let's see if this will work. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but we'll try it. Okay. There it goes. Alright, let me stop. Okay. Let's try it again. I don't know what it's going to do.
Someone in the vehicle, but they weren't able to give particulars on where exactly it was. But if you see the scene, they're very meticulously looking for Caden.
Let me see if I can fix the volume on this real quick.
somewhere in the vehicle, but they weren't able to give particulars on where exactly it was.
I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I can't hear it on my end. So give me just a second.
Particulars on where exactly it was, but you see the scene there very meticulously looking for Caden. We had the forensic unit on scene as well as other agencies somewhere in the vehicle, but they weren't able to give particulars on where exactly it was. But you see the scene there very meticulously looking for Caden. We had the forensic unit on scene as well as other agencies here to help them out. But the Marion County Sheriff's Office said they pulled out all the stops to search for Caden. They've used canine dogs as well as helicopters, drones as well as even heat signature technology to be able to look for him through all of the forestry that's here. We're here on Southwest Highway 484 here at Dunnellon, and this is what
they look like. They're taking a footprint, and I'm seeing where how far the markers are, and I don't think the markers. I know they look from afar away, they look like they're right on top of each other, but when you're close up, they're not that close together. Very low and muffled. Yeah, I know. I'm listening. That's why I'm covering my ear to listen to it. There's nothing I can do about the volume on it, but just, explain what's going on here. But I still haven't seen the bullets in the vehicle yet.
Of Marion County had to say about the incident this afternoon.
This afternoon, our agency received a call in reference to a possible shooting here in the 12,000.
A possible shooting. And it sounds like that may have came from the mother, not from anybody around that area, which is, again, another question. Been scared to come out of the bushes. Oh, Frank. Have I been scaring you? Look like the holes in the back of the truck. No, that wasn't holes in the back of the truck. That was a big metal box. That's a big metal box with stuff on it. That is a something. I'm not sure what that is, but this is like some type of machine on the truck. You can see the tubes right down here. You can see the metal right here. This is not gunshots by any stretch of the imagination. This is whatever he's riding with in the back of his truck. Whatever he does, whatever this is for. Yeah, those are fuel tanks in the back of the truck. That's fuel tanks. I don't know. So. If it's fuel tanks, then there's that. So if he had these large of fuel tanks on his truck, why in the world did they not steal the fuel? I mean, they took him, but not the fuel at frickin', $4 a gallon of gas. I sent you information on the mom with some pictures. Looked like he has a loving family. Yeah, there's something more going on here. I'm not buying the Mexicans did it. I'm sorry. I'm just not. Okay? I'm sorry. Beat me up, whatever. I'm just not buying it. I could be terribly wrong. I'm wrong about certain things, but I can tell you some ain't adding up for me, okay? Just from everything I know about this area. Remember, I've lived here my entire life. And everything I know about the state of Florida, I'm just not buying this. I'm just not buying it.
Forensic unit on scene as well as other agencies here to help them out, but the Marion County Sheriff's Office said they pulled out all the stops to search for Caden. They've used canine dogs as well as helicopters, drones as well as even heat signature technology to be able to look for him through all of this forestry that's here. We're here on Southwest Highway 484 here at Dunnellon, and this is what the PIO of Marion County had to say about the incident this afternoon.
This afternoon, our agency received a call in reference to a possible shooting here in the 12,800 block of Northwest Highway 484. When we arrived, we located a vehicle that did appear to be involved in that shooting. However, our deputies weren't able to locate a victim. Through further investigation, we determined that our victim is Caden, who we've now issued an Amber Alert for through FDLE. At this point in the investigation, it's still too soon to know motive or anything like that. We do believe that Caden was the victim of the shooting, and it's our utmost priority right now to find him and make sure that he's okay.
Moore said that Caden was last seen wearing a t-shirt.
I'm sorry. I'm going to continue to maintain. Something ain't right for me. It just isn't right for me. Even with that, I didn't see any bullet holes in the vehicle. I'm not seeing any blood or red substance on the ground. I've got to get more information, guys. I'm just not one. I know everybody wants me to dive right in and say what law enforcement is saying. I'm saying something ain't right here. So if they said they believed he was a victim of a shooting, they must have some evidence to say that. Not necessarily. That's what people don't understand. They say whatever they have in reports. So, for example, let's say, Wendy, I murdered you, okay? Me and you were in a relationship. Let's just go through this. I want to walk through this so people are very clear on what's going on. You and I are in a relationship. You disappear, okay? I murder you, okay? And then I take you somewhere, dump your body, and I forgot, your cell phone, your purse, and your keys, okay? So now I have to call law enforcement. I've got to report you missing. So I call you up and I report you missing, and I say, Wendy, she ran off with her ex-boyfriend, okay? Wendy ran off with her ex-boyfriend in the middle of the night after we got into a fight. She didn't want anything left at all. She left her keys, her wallet. She said she didn't want nothing to do with me. She wants a clean break. So now law enforcement is going to go on and say, dear world, we have Wendy H. Let me just see if that's which. Sorry. I think it's, Wendy H is missing, and she took off in the middle of the night after having a fight with her significant other. That's going to be, now there's no evidence that you went off because remember, I murdered you and dumped you out in the field. But everything being passed around on the internet is everything that I told law enforcement about what happened. So I want to clarify that with you guys, that they are repeating what they are being told happened. And this is what happens in true crime a lot. And everybody's like, but they said this and they said that. I understand what law enforcement says. That's why it's very important for you to understand how law enforcement work, what their policies and procedures are. Every time we get to a certain situation in cases where law enforcement doesn't speak, we watch their behaviors. What are they doing? that's what indicates to us where we are in the investigation. Are they looking at this investigation as a missing person, or are they looking at this investigation as a homicide? This child may have been attacked, may have been abducted, and may be fighting for his life right now. But there also may be a flip side to this, and that may be there might be more here. And I'm not seeing enough to support that there's not more here. Okay? Again, there's a lot of questions that I have that don't make sense. One of the questions is, how did he have time to reach out to his mother and be so eloquent in his commentary? 2, how in the world could he be in that big hunk of steel and get himself shot and pulled out of that big hunk of steel? That doesn't make sense to me. If I felt fear for my life, I'm flooring the frickin' vehicle and getting myself out of the threat. I'm definitely not going to open the door, get myself shot, and get drug out of a vehicle. Okay? So there's a lot of questions here that I have, especially being from the country, which he is. Okay? I know how country folk thinks. I know how country folk act. And I know how ballsy country folk are. So I'm still asking, because I can tell you at 17 years old, even though I was more city than country, coming from Manatee County, this would never happen. Okay? The truck is safer. Bingo. So I've got a lot of questions here. Things aren't adding up from where I'm sitting, and I'm not going to buy into it until I get some. We may buy into it. We may be like, oh my God, this kid has been abducted. We're going to continue to say he's been abducted because we got an Amber Alert out and we're trying to locate this boy. That's why I've got his photo here and got information, Whoops, sorry. There. I keep forgetting it's backwards. So we got all of his information right here. We went ahead and we're telling people who to look for and what to look for. But again, I'm not 100% buy-in that the Hispanic people did it. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm just not. Call me whatever you need to call me. That's fine. Whatever the case may be, again, that's fine. But what you need to understand is that we have to be looking at all aspects, including that this kid had a mental break and may have wanted to self-harm, but would prefer the family thinking that somebody did it instead of him succumbing to the pressures of life. I mean, we do have to look at that. We know that this is a real possibility this day and age with our young folk. We can't just assume. And yes, there's a reason why law enforcement is saying what they're being told. And Wendy, I hope I explained that to you well, because that's the reality of what we see. I do true crime every single day. Okay, this is not a pastime for me. This is my full-time job. And I always have to question things because we've been around a long time, and we've seen law enforcement lie. We've seen witnesses lie. We've seen hoaxes of this magnitude before. We've really seen a lot. And trust me, we still know that there's still another crazier story right around the corner, you know? So it's crazy. Pinkie Pie says that area is crazy with road rage, people driving wild. If anything, yeah, but you know what? Again, but most of the road rages, even the people that get shot, they're left with their car. I know. No matter how you flip the coin, this young man should be with his vehicle, whether he's dead or alive. I mean, people just don't go and abduct 17-something years old unless they're looking for a payday or they're wanting to essay them. I'm just saying, we know this. We know this to be true. Let me ask you this. For the people that believe that he was abducted, what would be the theory for abduction? I mean, in order for him to be abducted, he would have to, be known to these people, no? I mean, what other purpose would the abduction be effective? I feel like it's a liability more than it's an asset. You're going to be caught with the victim of this crime, shot. Like, you're going to jail for life if that's the case. Like, if they had no connection whatsoever, you would think that the Hispanic people, if they had a gun, would shoot and kill him and rob him and be done with it. I don't understand what the removal of him was. Because even when you apply everything, that we're looking at here, even when you're applying the robbery or the road rage, when have we had a road rage incident where the person shot the person and took the body with them? You never hear that. If he was abducted by a stranger, they picked a difficult target. Yeah, exactly. Now you guys are getting it. Like, this is not making sense. I mean, no matter how you look at this, when you take a step back and you start processing the information, you start realizing very quickly, wait a minute, something ain't right here. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, so it says statistics shows the majority of abductions are perpetrated by known assailants or had contact with them at some point. Exactly. Yes. I don't want to spread rumors because the police need to release what's circulated locally. Hopefully more will come out. Oh, we're not spreading rumors. We speculate. This is speculation station. We theorize, we speculate, and believe me, cops do the same thing. I know this because I have a lot of cop friends. There is not one case that comes before them that they don't theorize or speculate. That's how they start realizing what paths to go down to start collecting information and who they need to be bringing in. They've got to put everything out on the table, much like we do. Typically, they have nice whiteboards and stuff behind, and one day we will aspire to have whiteboards where we have our timeline. We're going to have like a major studio at some point, folks. It's in the making, okay? It's in the making. We've got a major studio that we're going to be in that's going to have whiteboards. It's going to have all kinds of stuff, several different cameras where I'm on one side of the office to the other side of the office. But I'm telling you, we are circulating the information that they need, as you can see. Let me take you off. This is exactly what they have. We have Caden's name, Caden Speight. We have his Amber Alert. We have it notified right there. There's not one thing that we do not have that law enforcement wants us to have right here. Okay? But what I'm not going to do is buy into that 4 Hispanics abducted this young boy, and that's that. Like, you've got to give me more than that. Okay? I'm not buying into the whole Hispanic thing. If nothing more, I've seen mafia. I've seen cartel. I've seen drug deals gone bad. I've seen a lot of things, but one thing I have never seen is a boy being shot by a stranger and abducted in broad daylight. We've heard about situations like that. We've heard things like in Mexico, those types of things happening. But in Dunellon? No. This is a really far-fetched story that somebody has to tell me a little more about. Because did he know these people or did he not know these people? Because if he did not know these people, this story makes zero sense. And I'm not getting off of that. I've done this enough times to know that this does not make sense. Road in Tampa, not Marion. Yeah, well, there's a lot of road rage. Every now and again, I get a little itchy myself with somebody being stupid. If this was a kidnapping for ransom, the parents would have already heard by the perpetrators by now. I would think so too, but not necessarily. You know, there may be some more attention that they weren't expecting and maybe got scared. But we haven't heard anything, but I'd have to think that at some point there's going to be a phone call if it's an abduction. But right now, we're not there. We're hearing that this boy was in the middle of his day and got shot and torn out of his vehicle, but nothing was really taken. He's got gas tanks. We got freaking a gas crisis in America. The gas is too damn high, and you're telling me this boy had gas tanks on the back of his truck, and they took him and not the truck? I'm sorry. I don't know what kind of stupid criminals we've got in the state of Florida. I'm not a criminal, but I'm telling you, if I was going to commit a crime, I'm leaving the body. I'm taking the truck and the gas, because I got to tell you, it's a damn crime to pay for gas here in the state of Florida. I'm saying. I'm just saying. It is a crisis here in Florida. So there's something not right here. And I don't know a lot, but I know a little. And when I say there's something not right, there's something not right. So we'll follow this. If you guys get anything, I know I've been a little hard on a lot of new people up in here. You know, that's not my intention, but we do have a troll problem. There is some other stuff that I will be talking to you guys about in the near future. And we need to protect ourselves because the beast is about to be released. And I'll talk to you guys about that too. But do not think that I will not for a second drag people back to court if they're going to be monkey effing with my channel. Talk your shit on your own channel. Stay the hell off of my channel. And that goes for every one of you slime balls. Okay? And you know who you are. So the new people to this channel, I want to thank you guys for coming here. You guys got me on a raw. You guys will understand as you guys hang out here for a little while. But our intentions are good. And I go out and I try to make a difference. I try to find people if it's within our ability. I'm just saying that when I come across stories that don't make sense, I trust my instinct. Why? Because my instinct has kept me alive in very, very difficult situations. My instinct had made me very accurate on a lot of the information that I bring on here, because not only are we using common sense, we're also using statistical analysis and anomalies to help identify certain information. We have covered a wide variety of cases on this channel, a wide variety of cases. We're not dumb. We have not been through everything. We have not ever seen, and I guarantee in our lifetime we will never see every single type of case that there will ever be where a human hurts another human. But I can tell you that every single time we cover a case, just when you think it couldn't be more gruesome or brutal, it becomes more gruesome and brutal. I'm hoping that this is a hoax, okay? I will be honest with you. I'm hoping that this young man is perfectly fine, just having a mental breakdown, that nothing really bad is going to happen. You know, he's going to get into some trouble over this or something. That's what I truly hope. But I'm not so hopeful of that I'm ignorant, right? I know that there is a real possibility that this child is in grave danger, and I want to make sure that that's known, and why I made this beautiful thumbnail so everybody can clearly see his face and clearly see the information out there. But with that being said, I want the truth to come out, and I want to know what happened to him. But I feel like there's more here. Autopsy done on Charlie Kirk. I don't know if that's true. I mean, his entire murder was captured on TV. I think we pretty much know that the carotid artery was completely disseminated along with the jugular. You know, he was dead before he hit the ground. I don't know. That's why I cried. As soon as I saw the bullet go through and all the blood come out, I knew he was dead. Everybody was very hopeful, and I was starting to get hopeful, and then I went back and watched it again, and I started posting that I think, you know, the world's just giving Erica some time to grieve, because I looked at the video again, there's not a possibility for survival. He was murdered by firearm, and it ripped through his carotid and his jugular. I saw almost a gallon of blood. We lost a great man, we sure did. He was the best. I had the pleasure of getting to know him. I've had the pleasure of supporting his organizations for many years. I've had a pleasure of meeting a lot of great people through the movement that he was a key figure of. And it's sad. It's sad. So, but what has happened since his murder has been absolutely beautiful. I wish more people that were a lot more kind-hearted were doing good, you know. So anyways, guys, I hope everything's going well for you guys. We'll stay on this case. There's more to be had here. I don't know why I feel that way, but I'm strong enough in my convictions that I know that there's more here. I don't know what the more is. You know, I really don't. We will find out in the near future, but right now I'd love to pray nothing more for this young man to be safe. Wherever he is, I hope, you know, he is safe. Bringing up the green orange hearts, I also want to say that today I would like everybody to please keep the E family in your thoughts and prayers. A lot's going on in their world, and if we can just keep them top of mind today, I would graciously appreciate that. Please go over to Mr. and Mrs. E, or it's actually Mr. E Crimecast with the Crime Dogs. Please put, you know, a message of hope in there for them. There's so much ugly out in this world. We got to see a dose of ugly on this channel. I would beg to tell them they don't want to pick this scab. They do not want to pick this scab. But hey, you know what? You play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. We've already seen that. I would watch yourself very closely, you haters. Very, very closely. Thank you. There we go. So please go over there, give them some words of encouragement and hope. I'd greatly appreciate that. This would be wonderful. We also have the change.org that Seth Rogers will be talking a little more about Sebastian's case here in the near future. I will be setting up a live. It's going to be, we're at 11:20 right now. Ooh, we've been on here for a while. So we will be setting up a new live later this afternoon. We're going to be getting back into our show now that we're winding down one case, and we still have the Tennessee case that we are going to be working on. And then we're going to start getting the team back together, our mods and everything like that. And we're going to really be working some of these cases and trying to get back out there in the field. We've got a couple small hurdles to go over, and that is with our Tennessee case. And after our Tennessee case, it's going to be getting Tony and Dana paid back for their contributions when we were going through a really tough time. So hopefully I get your guys' support on that. It's been quite awful, quite hard. I know a lot of people have been helping and everything like that, but we still need some more support for the channel as we go through. We still got a long ways to go, so I'd appreciate anything and everything. Definitely not required, but always appreciated. You can do and show your love free ways. Liking this, sharing this, and hyping it. I found out this hyping thing is a really good thing. So if you guys would like to hype this channel, please do. If you guys want to do a step further, we got super chats, super stickers, and super thanks. If you're on the replay crew and you just love Bullhorn Betty and you want to tell me about myself, don't forget to hit that super thanks. And of course, if you want to do more, we have our monthly memberships, which really truly do help this channel maintain its growth, is through those memberships. So we appreciate every single one of you, and the little bit that you guys can each do for this channel, it's always appreciated, and we do certainly love you guys for that. We do have a prize to give away. Actually, I think we were going to do one of two things. So before you guys jump ship just on me yet, we are doing a drawing, okay? And your prize is a deception deck. It's not this deception deck. It's going to be a brand new that will be your prize. But we are putting together, it's the best. I'll extend it for a week because everything kind of got really screwed up. But it is for a flyer for Sebastian Rogers. We're going to be doing an event from the 23rd to the 27th where I want everybody that can only make one day to be there on the 26th on his 2-year milestone of his disappearance. But we need people to draft or do flyers. We do these fun things, and usually everybody puts their hands in, even the goofiest, not so pretty, just something. People always try to, do something. We had one person come forward with a design on Sebastian Rogers. I can't believe that that is possible. Okay, there's no way that is possible. So if you guys can do a flyer, you guys have full creative, ability. I didn't hinder you in any way other than it. Even the title of it, it's for Sebastian. It's going to be the week of the 23rd through the 27th, but we want everybody there on the 26th. If they can be there through the week, come out the earlier the better, the more the merrier. I'm going to be there regardless. And then we're going to take the flyers and we're going to have our audience. Nobody's going to know who sent them to me. They're going to be numbered 1, 2, 3, or 4, A, B, C, and G. Nobody's going to know who sent them. And people from our audience are going to vote on the winner. And whoever wins, only I know, will receive the deception deck. And if you're into true crime, how can you live life without the deception deck? It doesn't make sense. You want the deception deck. If you don't want the deception deck, you're not a true crimey. Okay? You're just not. You're not one of us. You're just not. So get those drawings in. It's anything. It's a flyer, so it's an 8x11 flyer, or 8.5, whatever our sheets of paper are, whatever it is. That's what our flyer is. So do that. I would really definitely like that. Do that and get those in, and then we'll have that Friday next week. Okay, Friday next week. And not only Friday next week are we going to be drawing. Now, if there's only one flyer that comes in and nobody wants to participate, then we're going to take the deception deck off the possibilities of rewards in the future, because this deception deck is like $70 or $80. Okay, so you're getting a huge gift here. And if you guys don't want to participate, well then, okay, I will give it to the one person that wants to participate and just be done with it. We're also going to be giving away next week one of our drawings, one of our prizes. I'm not sure what I have, one I'm working on. Oh, perfect, yeah, $79, she said. I know it's expensive. So what does the flyer entail? Okay, very simple. The flyer entails, it's like we can do gathering of voices. It's just the event for Sebastian. It's his 1-year milestone. I'm giving you full creativity for the title of it, just as long as it has something related to Sebastian on it, Sebastian Rogers, and the date of the event. With the caveat that we want everybody, we want the strongest support being there on the 26th. I don't know how you guys are going to do it, how you guys are going to word it, but that is where it is. It's for an event. We're doing an event. I want hundreds of people flooding to Sumner County. And my goal is to get at least 100 people out there in Sumner County waving, on an intersection, stretched down the road, waving at people and reminding them that we have Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers still missing. I will be on the camera. I will be on my bullhorn. I will be speaking to the sheriff directly from where I'm perched at, which would be directly in front of their office. I want the whole community to feel the love we have for Sebastian. And there's a few reasons why I'm doing it, because I feel like the community is not doing enough. I feel like the community is scared of their law enforcement and their government, because I've heard from enough people there that the reason why they're not doing more is because of their local government and the backlash that they may have to undergo to do anything. And so we're going to make sure that they are protected to do whatever they need to, because I've already had to deal with the corruption in Sumner County. And they picked with the wrong person, because not only do they realize that not only am I like a dog on a bone, I am not giving up on that county now until the problems in that county are gone. Okay, we're going to restore power back to the people of that county. The people that say that they're Republicans out there are what we call rhinos. I'm a MAGA movement supporter. And if you're going to be in any town that's a red town and you want to step on my toes, you're going to have the full weight of something coming down your neck. So they've picked a fight with me on a political level, but not only that, they picked a fight with me because I'm representing Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, and I want to know what happened to him. And I believe the mom and the stepdad, they're friends. Chris and Katie Proudfoot are responsible. And this sheriff is a corrupted sheriff, and he's done more to protect the parents than they have to help the missing child that may be dead, and may be dead because of his mother. They're doing absolutely nothing to move the needle. Nothing. And so we're going to be going out there, and I want 100 people, because I want that community to know that Sebastian is loved. He is loved, and he deserves their support, and he deserves their pressure. And I pray to God that maybe when the community sees that we have our backbone and we have our balls, maybe they'll grow their backbone and grow their balls, because we need community members uplifting this boy. We're having to transplant people from out of that community to help raise awareness to this boy, because everybody wants to keep their mouth shut. That does not work. That does not work. And God forbid it was your child. I'm saying that to every blessed person out in Sumner County. God forbid it was your child. I hope you guys come out and stand up and get your balls and backbone back. All right, guys, rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, kind to one another. And please keep the ease in your thoughts and prayers. Yeah, your thoughts and prayers this week as they and through the next week as they are undergoing, just unthinkable grief and pain right now, as they are trying to stay supportive and in a positive mindset for their son that is going through a massive surgery, a very scary surgery. And we just want to wrap them with love and prayers and strength and compassion and just a bunch of positivity. So if you guys can help support that, I greatly appreciate it. Guys, God bless you. We'll see you soon.